Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Philadelphia City Council's Committee on Streets and Services. I note that the hour has come. Mr. Pullen, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Ahmad. Here. Councilmember Bass. Present. Councilmember Brooks. Councilmember Harity. Here. Vice Chair Squilla. Chair Young.
Present. Thank you, Mr. Pullen. A note for the record that a quorum of this committee is present and this hearing is called to order. This is a public hearing of the Committee on Streets and Services considering testimony on bills number 250606, 250809, 250839, 250840, 250842, 250843, 250846, 250914, and 250920. I would like to also note for the record that bill number 250843 is being held at the request of the sponsor. I do know there are some here wishing to testify on that bill. We'll give you the opportunity during public comment. Before we begin, do any of my colleagues have any opening remarks? Seeing none, Mr. Pullen, would you please read the title of the first bill to be called?
Bill number 250840, titled Authorizing a Streetery in the Right-of-Way Adjacent to 3467 Richmond Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19134, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Pullen. Would you please call the first witnesses to testify on this bill?
The first witness to testify is Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets.
Good morning, Ms. Marconi. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on Bill number 250840, introduced by Councilmember Driscoll. This bill authorizes, after 20 years, LLC, the owners to install, own, and maintain a streetery in the right-of-way adjacent to 3467 Richmond Street. One streetery structure and 4 tables and 10 seats and 1 planter will be located in the cartway adjacent to the curb line of 3467 Richmond Street in the south parking lane and will encroach approximately 7 feet 2 inches towards the north cartway along the cartway of Tioga Street. Department of Streets is not opposed to this proposed streetery as long as it complies with the laws, rules, and regulations of the city, and specifically of those of the Departments of Licensed Inspections, Department of Streets, and the Art Commission. This ordinance authorizes the location of the streetery subject to those rules. This concludes my testimony, and please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Marconi. I see that there is a proposed amendment to this bill. Could you just state for the record?
I have not seen it. I was not aware there was an amendment.
Sorry, different bill. Apologize. That's on me. Is there anyone else in the chambers wishing to testify on bills number 250840? Seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Pullen. Would you please read the title of the next bill?
Bill number 250846, titled Authorizing Various Encroachments in the Vicinity of 5901 Wayne Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19144, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Would you please call the witnesses for this bill?
The first witnesses to testify are Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets, and Sarah Chu, Development Director for the City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record and begin with your testimony.
Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on Bill number 240846, introduced by Councilmember Bass. This bill authorizes Germantown Auto Supply, LLC, the owner, to install, own, and maintain an encroachment. It's in the nature of a sidewalk cafe at Ultimo Coffee, located at 5901 Wayne Avenue. A total of 4 tables and 8 seats for a sidewalk cafe will be located along the property line of 5901 Wayne Avenue. Department of Streets is not opposed to this proposed sidewalk cafe, as 10 feet 5 inches of unobstructed footway will be maintained. This concludes my testimony, and please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Marconi. Ms. Chu, please state your name and begin with your testimony.
Good morning, Chair Member Young and members of Committee on Streets and Services. I'm Sarah Chu, City Planner Manager with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill Number 250846, introduced by Councilmember Bass on October 9th, 2025. This bill allows a sidewalk cafe at 5901 Wing Avenue a minimum of 10 feet of clear sidewalk spaces to remain after the installation. This meets the complete streets policy. The Planning Commission at its meeting on November 20th, 2025 recommended a bill number 250846 for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions of these witnesses on this bill? Chair recognizes Councilmember Bass.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to thank you all for your testimony today, and it's come to my attention that this bill would need to be amended because there was a slight measurement inconsistency, so we just need to make that technical change, but so that's going to need to be amended. But I thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Are there any other questions or comments of these witnesses on Bill Number 250809? Seeing none, is there any other persons in the chambers wishing to testify on Bill Number 250809? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Mr. Pullen, would you please read the title of the next bill? Pardon me, that was 250846. Is there anyone else in the chambers wishing to testify on Bill Number 250846? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Pullen. Please read the title of the next bill, 250839.
Bill number 250809, titled Authorizing Various Encroachments in the Vicinity of 113 through 117 Washington Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19147, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Please call the witnesses to testify.
First witness to testify, Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets, and Sarah Chu, Development Director for the City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please state your name and give your testimony.
Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on Bill Number 250809, introduced by Councilmember Squilla. This bill authorizes New Style Studio Corp., the owner, to install, own, and maintain various encroachments at True Nguyen Legend Coffee located at 113-17 Washington Avenue. The various proposed encroachments include a total of 10 tables and 40 seats, 4 proposed planters, and 4 refuse containers for a sidewalk cafe, which will be located along the north footway of Washington Avenue along the property line of 113-17 Washington Avenue. A total of 5 tables and 20 seats and 2 planters for a sidewalk cafe will be located along the building line of 113-17 Washington Avenue. Another 5 tables and 20 seats, 2 planters, and 4 refuse containers will be located along the building line of 113-17 Washington Avenue. The Department of Streets is not opposed to these proposed encroachments as they will maintain 6 feet of clear unobstructed footway. This concludes my testimony. Please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Ms. Chu, please proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Chair Member Young and members of the Committee on Streets and Services. I'm Sarah Chu, City Planner Manager with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill Number 250809, introduced by Councilmember Squilla on September 25th, 2025. This bill allows a sidewalk cafe at 113-17 Washington Avenue. A minimum of 6 feet of clear sidewalk space is to remain after the installation. This meets complete streets policy. The Planning Commission at its meeting on October 16, 2025 recommended Bill Number 250809 for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions of these witnesses on Bill Number 250809? Seeing none, is there anyone in chambers wishing to testify on Bill Number 250809? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Pullen, would you please read the title of the next bill?
Bill number 250839, titled Authorizing Encroachments in the Nature of a Sidewalk Cafe in the Vicinity of 3467 Richmond Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19134, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Please call the witnesses.
The first witness to testify, Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets, and Sarah Chu, Development Director for the City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please state your name and give your testimony.
Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer a testimony on Bill Number 250839, introduced by Councilmember Driscoll. This bill authorizes, after 20 years LLC, the owner to install, own, and maintain an encroachment in the nature of a sidewalk cafe at Bonk's Bar on the corner located at 3467 Richmond Street. A total of 15 tables and 80 seats for a sidewalk cafe will be located along the south sidewalk of Tioga Street along the property line of 3467 Richmond Street. The sidewalk cafe will consist of 5 tables and 22 seats, which will be located adjacent to the building line of 3467 Richmond Street. 4 tables and 22 seats will be located to the property line, to the building line of 3467 Richmond Street. 3 tables and 18 seats will be located adjacent to the building line of 3467 Richmond Street, and another 3 tables and 18 seats will be located adjacent to the building line of 3467 Richmond Street. Department of Streets is not opposed to this proposed sidewalk cafe, as it will maintain 6 feet of clear and unobstructed footway. This concludes my testimony, and please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Ms. Chu, please state your name and give us your testimony.
Good morning, Chairmember Young and members of the Committee on Streets and Services. I'm Sarah Chu, City Planner Manager with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 250839, introduced by Councilmember Driscoll on September 25th, 2025. This bill will allow a sidewalk cafe at 3467 Richmond Street. A minimum of 6 feet 6 inches of clear sidewalk space is to remain after the installation. This meets the city's complete streets policy. The Planning Commission at its meeting on October 16, 2025 recommended Bill number 250839 for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you. So, from my previous statement, this bill has an amendment. Have you all seen this proposed amendment?
No.
So it looks like it's a technical amendment. Looks like it creates a section 2 that would basically state that the encroachment will be in accordance to city laws, rules, regulations, things like that. I'm not sure if you all have seen this. Could you get this so they can see it? So if you could briefly, just take a look at that just to see if that's, something you all may have any concern about. I know you may not be able to say something at this very moment, but just if anything sticks out.
I don't think we have an issue with it because I think that's usually what is standard language, which is incorporated into the bill. So I don't think there's an issue on our end.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Just a question overall. It looks like this same owner, there's 2 bills that we heard today, or hearing today rather, is for a sidewalk cafe and a streetery. Typically, are you aware if the city charges any additional fees or taxes related to like the use and occupancy when it comes to these streeteries or sidewalk cafes? Looks like this restaurant will be getting both essentially at the same time.
So there is a $200 fee for the sidewalk cafe, which once the bill passes council gets sent out.
That's it.
And then there is a fee for the streetery, but I can't recall off the top of my head how much that fee is. I can get back to you with that information.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions regarding this bill from any members of the committee? Seeing none, is there anyone else in chambers wishing to testify on bill number 250839? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Pullen, would you please read the title of the next bill?
Bill number 250842, titled Authorizing Encroachments in the Nature of a Sidewalk Cafe in the Vicinity of 400 East Girard Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19125, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Please call the witnesses to testify on this bill.
Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets. Sarah Chu, Development Director for the City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record and give us your testimony.
You can go, Sarah. I can't hear this. Sorry. It's in all my papers. Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on Bill number 250842, introduced by Councilmember Squilla. This bill authorizes Columbia and Girard Associates, the owner, to install and maintain encroachments in the nature of a sidewalk cafe at Mill Creek Cafe located at 400 East Girard Avenue. A total of 7 tables and 14 seats for a sidewalk cafe will be located along the east sidewalk of Columbia Avenue along the property line of 400 East Girard Avenue. The Department of Streets is not opposed to this proposed sidewalk cafe, as 6 feet of unobstructed footway will be maintained. This concludes my testimony, and please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Chu. Please state your name and begin with your testimony.
Good morning, Chair Member Young and members of the Committee on Streets and Services. I'm Sarah Chu, City Planner Manager with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill Number 250842, introduced by Councilmember Squilla on October 9, 2025. This bill allows a sidewalk cafe at 400 East Girard Avenue. A minimum of 6 feet of clear sidewalk space is to remain after the installation. This meets the city's complete streets policy. The Planning Commission at its meeting on October 16, 2025, recommended Bill Number 250842 for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you. Are there any questions of these witnesses on this bill? Seeing none, is there anyone else in the chambers wishing to testify on Bill Number 250842? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Pullen, would you please call the title of the next bill?
Bill number 250914, titled Authorizing Encroachments in the Nature of a Sidewalk Cafe in the Vicinity of 5021 to 23 Baltimore Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19143, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Would you please call the witnesses to testify?
The first witness to testify are Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets, and Sarah Chu, Development Director for the City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on Bill Number 250914, introduced by Councilmember Gauthier. This bill authorizes 5021 Baltimore LLC, the owner, to install and own and maintain an encroachment in the nature of a sidewalk cafe at Booker's Restaurant and Bar located at 5021-23 Baltimore Avenue. A total of 5 tables and 12 seats for a sidewalk cafe will be located along the north sidewalk of Baltimore Avenue, along the property line and curb line of 5021-23 Baltimore Avenue. 3 tables and 6 seats will be located adjacent to the curb line, and 2 tables and 6 seats will be located adjacent to the building. The Department of Streets is not opposed to this proposed sidewalk cafe, as 9 feet of unobstructed footway will be maintained. This concludes my testimony, and please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions by members of the committee on this bill? Seeing none, is there anyone else in chambers wishing to testify on Bill Number 250914? Seeing none, thank you all. Mr. Pullen, would you please read the title of the next bill?
Bill number 250920, titled Authorizing Encroachments in the Nature of a Sidewalk Cafe in the Vicinity of 2535 through 37 South 13th Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19148, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Please call the witnesses.
Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets, Sarah Chu, Development Director for the City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please proceed with your testimonies.
Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm here today to offer testimony on Bill Number 250920, introduced by Councilmember Squilla. This bill authorizes 2535 South 13th Street LLC, the owner, to install and maintain encroachment in the nature of a sidewalk cafe at South House located at 2535-37 South 13th Street. Total of 4 tables and 8 seats for a sidewalk cafe will be located along the east sidewalk of South 13th Street along the property line and curb line of 2535-37 South 13th Street. 2 tables and 4 seats will be located adjacent to the curb line, and 2 tables and 4 seats will be located adjacent to the building. Department of Streets is not opposed to this proposed sidewalk cafe, as the minimum of 5 feet of unobstructed footway will be maintained. This concludes my testimony. Please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Ms. Chu, please proceed.
Good morning, Chair Member Young and members of the Committee on Streets and Services. I'm Sarah Chu, City Planner Manager with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill Number 250920, introduced by Councilmember Squilla on October 23, 2025. This bill allows a sidewalk cafe at 2535 to 37 South 13th Street. A minimum of 5 feet of clear sidewalk space is to remain after the installation. This meets the city's complete streets policy. The City Planning Commission at its meeting on November 20th, 2025, recommended Bill Number 250920 for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this bill by members of the committee? Seeing none, is there anyone else in chambers wishing to testify on bill number 250920? Seeing none, Mr. Pullen, would you please read the title of our next bill?
Bill number 250606, titled Authorizing Howard Foreman to install, own, and maintain a proposed fence encroachment at 1338-44 Rising Sun Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19140, under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Please call the witnesses. The first witness.
Noel Marconi, Legislative Affairs Director for the Department of Streets. Sarah Chu, City Planning Manager for the City Planning Commission.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning, Chairperson Young and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Noel Marconi, and I'm the Director of Legislative Affairs for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on Bill number 250606, introduced by Chairperson Young. This bill authorizes Howard Foreman, the owner, to install and maintain an encroachment in the nature of a fence located at 1338-44 Rising Sun Avenue. This bill would legalize the existing fence the owner has already erected. Department of Streets does not support this ordinance as it does not meet 11-604 of the code, which regulates encroachments. This section of the code states no fence or railing shall extend beyond the street line so as to reduce the width of the sidewalk to less than 16 feet, where the width of the street is 100 feet or more, to less than 14 feet, where the width of the street is between 80 and 100 feet, to less than 12 feet, where the width of the street is between 50 and 60 feet, or to less than 8 feet, where the width of the street is less than 50 feet. The street width at this location is 50 feet, and the sidewalk is 12 feet, and would be in violation of the section of this code. This concludes my testimony. Please answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Ms. Chu, please proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Chairmember Young and members of the Committee on Streets and Services. I'm Sarah Chu, City Planning Manager with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 250606, introduced by Councilmember Young on June 5th, 2025. This bill would allow a fence enclosure at the rear of the property addressed 1338-44 Rising Sun Avenue. This fence encroachment meets the city's complete streets policy, but it does not meet the section 11-604, which regulates encroachments. Westmoreland Street is on a 50-feet right-of-way with a 12-feet sidewalk. The street code stipulates that no fence or railing shall reduce a sidewalk width to less than 12 feet, where the width of the street is between 50 and 60 feet. This encroachment would violate that provision. In addition, the fence encroachment privatized portion of the public sidewalk. The sidewalks are intended for public use, and the installation of 6 feet tall fence encroachment permanently bars public access to the sidewalk. At the July meeting of the Planning Commission, the commissioners requested that staff conduct more outreach to the applicant to amend the design. Staff met with the applicant on site and saw that encroachment has already been installed. The staff discussed the reasons with the applicant, but there were still outstanding concerns about the nature and the location of the encroachment. The City Planning Commission at its meeting on September 18, 2025, recommended the bill number 250606 not be approved. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you. Can you talk to us about what some of the concerns are from the Planning Commission staff saw when they went out to the property? And I'm just want to say this because we do have pictures of the property. I think the owner is here to provide us with pictures, but there already is an encroachment that is within the property line that is at this property where this current fence kind of will start at. And if you just talk to us about some of the concerns they have when there's already other I guess when the sidewalk width is already shorter than what is required by the code.
So the encroachment element on the Westmoreland Street side was initially for a dumpster enclosure. So we were okay with fence off that area. But the applicant also stated there's existing grades, which is provide access to the basement level of the building. They also want to fence off that and also provide an access for the waiters to access the fenced-in area to provide food to the deck that is also a previous encroachment that was approved on Rising Sun Avenue. So there are a lot going on with the property. we were okay for functionality to fence off for the dumpster enclosure to provide a safe and clean street perspective, but to fence off a large portion of the sidewalk with the length and with the width of the nature of this encroachment, we think it's overwhelming on the sidewalk.
So this encroachment, it's essentially the length of the building on the Westmoreland side, and I'm just providing some context for those who may not understand the nature of this community here. This community, there are a lot of folks in this community who there's some homeless folks in this community. So with a restaurant being there, the concern is that if they aren't able to fence off, that there may be some, I'll say, there may be some break-ins at the restaurant. There may be some other things happening there that could potentially cause damage to the restaurant if this side of the restaurant isn't fenced off. So, but the owner of the restaurant is here that can be able to provide some more context to members of the committee if necessary. But I just wanted to put that on the record. Are there any other questions of these witnesses by members of the committee? Councilmember Harity.
Have you been out to the site? Who went out and inspected the site? Because that fence has been there for a long, long time, and no complaints. Jeff, I just don't understand why we're having a problem with this now. It's there. It's been there. It hasn't been an issue. The owner of the property runs that establishment very well and is an access, is lacking of a word, but he's good for that community. He does a lot of stuff over there, and the fact of the matter is he's just trying to enclose his stuff to keep it neat and tidy for the neighborhood. And with the encroachments that are already there, I just don't understand why we're opposing this. I get it, but we give people breaks all the time when it comes to this stuff. I know that, one development, we gave them the right to the back street behind it. So this stuff happens. Knowing that neighborhood and being over there quite often, there's plenty of room to get down that sidewalk. A wheelchair definitely fits, right? So, I mean, that's the major concern, is that somebody in a wheelchair that could get by. And his ramp and everything else is all ADA compliant. So can you explain to me, why this one seems to be an issue?
Right. Okay, so the nature of this fence encroachment is not to address the functionality of the building or the function of the restaurant. It is more for the safety concern. So we don't feel use a fence or build a fence on the public sidewalk is appropriate mechanism to address the safety concern. So there is a different mechanism and different outreach opportunity for the restaurant to work with public safety officers to address the safety concern of the property, not to enclose this property with a fence.
Thank you. So essentially, we should be allowing his property to be vandalized, and then we'll reach out and try to fix it later. That seems to be what we're hearing. Thank you. Are there any other questions of these witnesses on this bill? Nope. Thank you so much for your testimony. Mr. Pullen, would you please call the next witness to testify on this bill?
Howard Foreman.
Thank you. Mr. Foreman, please just state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony. Tell us, why do you believe that this encroachment will be important to you and your business?
Good morning, all, and happy Thanksgiving. As stated, my name is Howard Foreman. I've owned and operated the Caribbean Feast restaurant for over 20 years at that location, and employs 15 to 20 people from the neighborhood. As long as I've been at that location, I have struggled to run my business efficiently with a number of issues. And to name a few of these issues, I've had problems as long as I've been there with homeless people sleeping within that specific portion of the sidewalk. I've had problems with, having to clean up every single day, all kind of drugs, paraphernalias, needles, human feces, animal feces, dump trash, theft of property, and also illegal use of my water, a faucet that is attached to my building. And this fence, since the installation, has totally stopped all of those nuisances from happening, thus affecting my business. It affected, the fact that people could always pass by and see all of these items that I've disclosed earlier, and they would put it on Facebook and social media and, pretty much trash my restaurant, talking about all these things that are there. And since the installation of this fence, those problems has not existed anymore. So for the most part, this fence has been a savior to my business. And the headache, for the most part, is over since the fence went up. Also, as stated earlier, the legal concrete deck that is there is much wider than the metal fence, and that fence, concrete deck, as I stated, it has been legalized by the city, and I don't see why it's an issue since the fence is closer to the wall than the deck actually is.
Thank you. Mr. Foreman, I believe you have pictures. Can you show us, you are able to show us the pictures that you have so the members of the committee can get a sense? Thank you. I'm sure you're familiar with the area. You're familiar with it. Yeah, Nino, you're familiar with it. Just wanna- Essentially, this is his concrete deck he's talking about, and the fence is actually shorter than that. And so this is legal, but they have an issue with this fence because, but not an issue. This is already legalized out here.
So this is just going to go
Yeah.
alongside. They've already jetted out.
Yes.
So it should be, it's already included
Yes.
and authorized.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Foreman, for providing those pictures to us members of the committee. To me, it just seems like that this is a quality of life issue in that neighborhood. And I know, our streets code just doesn't take into account quality of life issues. And so although it may be a technical violation of the code, as Councilmember Harity still pointed out, there is still access by the public on this sidewalk. It's still ADA accessible. And again, our streets code just does not take into account quality of life issues that happen in communities that affect residents and businesses. So I want to, are there any other questions of this witness by members of the committee? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Foreman. I thank you for coming down and testifying today.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else in chambers wishing to testify on bill number 250606? Seeing none. We will now transition into our public comment session. Mr. Pullen, would you please call the first speakers for public comment today?
Can we get Peter Yaffe and Dominic Fullinetti of Republic Services?
Thank you. Please state your name for the record and begin with your public comment.
Thank you. My name is Dominic Fulginetti, council member, committee members. I appreciate the time today. I'm the Municipal Services Manager for Republic Services, and I'm here to offer testimony on Council Bill number 250843.
And just for the record, that bill was being held by the sponsor, correct, Mr. Pullen? Yes, okay. Thank you, sir. Please proceed.
So the bill changes just a couple words. The most important being secured to locked. So that's going to create significant operational safety, customer service, and quality of life challenges. In addition, the immediate effective date makes compliance with the bill impossible for many customers and haulers. The citywide lock requirement will slow collections, potentially disrupt services, and in some cases, shut down operations for commercial and industrial customers who depend on timely waste removal. We would humbly ask for your consideration of a short postponement in any action today to allow stakeholders to develop a workable and enforceable approach that meets the city's goals without harming the city's businesses or residents. Republic Services stands ready to participate in these discussions and help craft a practical path forward. Thank you for your consideration and for your attention in ensuring sound, effective waste management policy for the city of Philadelphia. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony today. Are there any questions of this witness? Nope, seeing none. Thank you so much for coming down. Is there anyone else in chambers today wishing to make public comment today? Mr. Pullen, are there any other speakers?
There are no other speakers, Mr. Chairman. Oh, wait.
Oh, I have one more.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please state your name and begin with your comment.
Yes, my name is Bernard James McHugh Jr., and I'm here to talk about the same bill as Mr. Dominic there. I thought I signed up, so I apologize. I must have wrote the right thing down. So I work for Waste Management. I've been a director for Waste Management for 44 years, most of that time in the city of Philadelphia. 8 to 10 of those years, I was actually a driver and actually servicing containers, picking it up. So I have a pretty good knowledge of what's going on out in the street and what it takes to service the area. I ran routes in Germantown, West Philly, Center City, Fishtown, all the way up to the greater Northeast. So I have a pretty good understanding what's going on. So there's 4 main reasons why I'm here in opposition of this bill that's being introduced, and I realize that it's been postponed here, but one is cost. There's a one-time cost of somewhere between $250 to $300 to physically get these locks put on containers. And it's not just because, you know, a lock's $35, $40, but we have to physically would have to pull every container off the street of Philadelphia, take it back, weld, do some installations and everything else. And I say we have to take them back because you can't do it in the alleyway, right? Because there could be trash there, it could cause a fire or some other issues. So there's probably somewhere in the area of 20,000 containers on the streets of Philadelphia right now. So all the companies would have to be coming in and out with containers with newly installed locks. Then there's a reoccurring service. It'll take our drivers somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes additional to take the lock off, take the chain off, remove the bar, bring the can back to the truck, dump it, and then redo the locks and everything else. That'll, again, add probably 3 to 5 minutes. Doesn't sound like a lot of time, but when you're servicing an account and you know, in our industry, we base things off of how long it takes and what it weighs. Adding 3 to 5 minutes at $200 an hour to run a truck, it's $3.33 a minute. You times that by 3, that's $10 a week per container. You times that by 5 minutes, it's $16.65. Again, that's per service, per container. So we have a lot of locations that will have 5 containers, mainly the restaurants in the area, and they go 7 days a week. So that number will just increase by that situation. And with change of law, we have to pass that on to our customer base. We cannot eat that kind of cost. So that's the one thing that we're against. The safety, the additional minutes on the street, blocking traffic or blocking the alleyways, 3 to 5 minutes is going to basically take the safety risk up. Accidents, injuries, those kind of things that potentially could happen to our employees. Then there's the reality. I mean, basically, you know, you can use the 70-30 rule. 70% of the customers and the consumers will follow the rules and put the locks on the containers, put all the trash in there. There's 30% that probably will not. You get some janitor services, you got employees, you got young folks that are bringing the trash out. If they don't have the key with them, they're going to throw it on the lid or they're going to throw it in front of the can. So that then involves the appearance. And I think it kind of goes against the Clean and Green Act that the city is trying to do right now. So those 4 issues are the main reasons why I'm here in opposition of this bill that you have introduced.
Thank you. Just one question, so are you aware of the concerns that have been raised, by community members on why this bill may be necessary, or why the sponsor of the bill put the
Yeah,
bill
just
forward?
recently, as the former testimony, we've recently been introduced to some of that, and we would love to be able to sit down with the team and work as a committee and, give our points at that time.
Thank you. Are there any questions of this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your comment today,
Thank
sir.
you.
Mr. Pullen, are there any other speakers for public comment?
There are no more speakers, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I would like to thank you all, and all of our witnesses today for joining us. We will end the public hearing and go into the public meeting. I note for the record that a quorum of the committee is present. The chair recognizes Councilmember Bass for a motion on the amendment to bill number 250839.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer an amendment to bill number 250839. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of the committee, and I move that the amendment to bill number 250839 be adopted.
Is there a second? Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded that the amendment to bill number 250839 be adopted. All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Bill number 250839 has been amended and adopted. And the chair recognizes Councilmember Bass for a motion on bill numbers 250606, 250809, 250839 as amended, 250840, 250842, 250846, 250941, and 250920.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that bills number 250606, 250809, 250839 is amended, 250840, 250842, 250846, 250914, and 250920 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded that bill numbers 250606, 250809, 250839 as amended, 250840, 250842, 250846, 250914, and 250920 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of these bills at the next session of council. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, ayes have it. Bills numbers 250606, 250809, 250839 as amended, 250840, 250842, 250846, 250914, and 250920 will be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation with a further request that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading at the next session of council. Are there any final remarks by members of the committee? Seeing none, this concludes the business before the Committee on Streets and Services today. Thank you all very much for your attendance.